absolutely right. The Red Cross, one of the things that I'm doing being new here and a new resident to Ottawa County is to grow the presence here in Ottawa County. The Red Cross has been here for over 100 years now. We just celebrated our 100th anniversary, quite frankly. But a lot of people aren't aware of the services that we provide and that we're there to provide them with food, shelter, and clothing to fill their emergent needs, their immediate needs that they have after they've experienced a disaster. So for an individual single-family fire, that's typically what we will do if the need exists. For a bigger incident like the oil spill or an apartment fire or a weather-related thing where you have more than X number of people to shelter, then we open up a physical shelter and we have cots and we have the ability to provide them with food and comfort while they're in that shelter. And we also provide medical support, just as they did down in Kalamazoo County, I believe, is where they had the shelter set up.
Or Calhoun County.
Or Calhoun County.
Yes.
And they were providing the initial medical support and then forwarding people or directing people to go to the emergency rooms that needed additional care, if you will.
So I appreciate in turn you're picking up on my observation. Thank you for that. So basically, you do need money, and from time to time there are special events that take place that seek to raise that money, and you are present in many organizations as well. So I just wanted to pass that along. Anything you can update us with?
You know, the American Red Cross is not a government agency, and we are not funded by the government. Our existence is mandated by Congress, so we have to be here by virtue of a congressional order. However, we have to be funded by donations from the American public. So we're always looking to the community to help support us, and the community has been very good that way. One of the things that we're doing now is growing our presence here and growing our chapter again. And so we will be reaching out to the community in different fundraising efforts in order to try to continue to sustain ourselves. We just recently had the golf outing, which was very successful, and you reported on that the last time I was here. But we're in planning stages right now for a couple of other fundraising events that will take place over the next year.
Will you honor us by permitting us to share that?
I would be happy to, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Your humble servant, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Do you like
I think
that?
another thing that should be noted, you know, while the Ottawa chapter's physical location is located down in Holland, their services are county-wide. And I think that's a misconception on behalf of a lot of people that it's only for southern Ottawa County. Their services are county-wide, and there's multiple services that they provide that serves a very vital role in our community.
Well, thank you for pointing that out. You're absolutely right, and I think that there have been a lot of people who have had the misconception that we are strictly in Holland or Holland Township, and no, we do represent the entire county. One of the things that we're going to be increasing is our presence countywide for the health and safety classes, for disaster preparedness classes, for our blood drives. There's a lot of things that we're going to be offering outside of the Holland area that perhaps people weren't aware of or weren't taking advantage of in the past.
I think one of the problems that you have in eastern Ottawa County, candidly, is that everybody has a focus towards Grand Rapids, and it's the big brother, the giant gorilla, whatever term you want to use. And people receive the information then out of the Grand Rapids area, whereas it is the suburban communities have a larger population than does the city of Grand Rapids. If you put the numbers surrounding, so that can we argue that we are underserved by the media out of Grand Rapids? Now, you would never argue, oh, I could not imagine anybody could say a thing like that. But that's one of the reasons the Georgetown Journal came into existence, candidly, was because this is Ottawa County. This has unique needs. It has a unique population base. And I'm almost tempted to tell you a story the late Congressman Guy Vanderjack told me. I will, as a matter of fact. Vanderjack and I were doing a Lincoln Day dinner at the Holiday Inn in Grand Haven at the time. And in the course of that, piece of television equipment broke, and they had to get bulbs or whatever it was. And so Guy and I sat on a bed and chatted, and he told the following story. The previous evening, he had been in Washington at a dinner for the Pakistani ambassador. This is perhaps 1975. They were together, and the Pakistani ambassador became indisposed and had to leave. President Ford was at the banquet, and he saw Vanderjack, and he motioned him over. He said, Guy, come over here. And so Congressman Vanderjack went over and sat next to the president. And because of Watergate and the difficulties facing them at that time, the president asked, Guy, how did you fare in the last election? And Vanderjack replied, well, Mr. President, he said, I slipped some as all of the boys did. But he said, you know, the people of Ottawa County rallied, and I came through fine. The president looked at me for a moment, said Vanderjack, and then he said, oh, Guy, you know, if America were only filled with the wonderful folk of Ottawa County, our national troubles would appreciably diminish. I just thought you'd like to hear that story. I can certify it. It took place.
Being an outsider, having recently moved here, I can say that this is a fabulous community. It has been very welcoming. Bill has been extremely welcoming in helping take me under his arm and introduce me to people.
The word is wing, isn't it?
Under his wing, if you will. He's introducing me to people, though, and he's getting me involved in the various things that I need to be involved in so that we can generate that presence, if you will, throughout the county. So Bill has been super in that way.
Bill will be gracious and understanding when I ask you to restate the special training that you're suggesting and the special treatment for swimmers as we move toward the end of our time together.
Okay, well, never swim alone. You want to make sure that they're swimming with other people, that they're swimming in designated areas, that they check the weather flags before they just go out and start swimming. If they get caught in a current, don't swim against it, but swim at a 90-degree angle away from it. Never leave young children unattended. Never dive into unfamiliar waters. Always have a buddy with you so that when you're swimming, if you get tired, get out of the water and rest, and don't continue to stress yourself. And those are just some of the things. Again, if they go to the www.ottawaredcross.org website, there is a whole list of other items about water safety. And I'm proud to say that that is a new website that we just recently provided to the public on Friday, and this past Friday. And so we're very excited.
We're breaking news?
We are breaking news.
Ooh.
And there's going to be a lot of current information on there. One other thing before we do end this segment is I want to point out how fortunate Ottawa County is to have Bill. He has been doing a phenomenal job from what I have seen as an outsider coming in for this county in the emergency management, going out and seeking grants where they were available to fund things like the narrow banding of radios and the dual band radios that they're making available, and just all things necessary for emergency management, from vest on up to the radios to repeaters to everything that's involved. He has done a phenomenal job of finding all the sources out there. So I just want to make sure that people are aware of that.